What's up, Cornerstone? Welcome to the C-Stone Lowdown. I'm coming to you from the yard at church today. Exciting place because this is where we are planning to, in the future, actually have in-person service. We talked about this in service last week that many of you have heard of the state opening up and allowing churches and religious organizations to practice gathering together within certain guidelines. So we have looked at those guidelines as a church. I met with the board and the staff yesterday, and we talked over what that would look like for our church. And we are setting a date for a tentative date for reopening, which is June 14th. That might be a little later than some of you guys expected. That might be a little earlier than some of you guys want. We could be on either side of the spectrum here. I understand that. There's so much of me that wants to just say, hey, let's just throw it all together this Sunday, and it'll be great because we'll be able to be back in person. But we want to make sure we do this well. And whatever you stand on this whole issue, on either side of it, really, I think as a church, what we would like to do is really follow these rules well, these guidelines well, so that we could be part of participating in doing this safely so that we can continue to meet in person. So we want to make sure that we set it up in a safe way so that it is good for our people and good for our church, and it will help, you know, in about 3 weeks when they've said they're going to reevaluate this. Hopefully we can be a part of saying, hey, this has gone well and this has been safe, and kind of examine it that way. So some of the guidelines we're going to be seeking to follow, and actually we're going to link this in the description below of this video and on our website, on our kind of announcement for what our reopening for our church looks like, is the CDC California Guidelines. So we're going to be seeking to follow those guidelines. And so a couple of just highlights of what you can expect that we're going to be seeking to put in place is social distancing, 6 feet apart outside here in the yard. And we will have service outside in the yard so that there's just a lower risk of transmission. There's fresh air, all those things that just kind of help, it seems, lower the transmission risk to keep people safe. Also thermometer checks, temperature checks as you guys enter. It's just called temperature screening. I know that could be invasive, you can do it at home, but we want to just check to make sure no one has a fever coming in here, no one has those symptoms, just to make sure that everyone is safe, just to give everyone that assurance of that as well. So if you guys would like to be a part of that service in terms of reopening, we would love to have a couple of volunteers. We're looking for maybe 6 to 10 volunteers who would like to, hey, I can wear a mask and do this kind of screening at the door when people come in to check in, or I can kind of help people find their seats and keep people in this 6 by 6 foot area. Just those kind of different things to just kind of help us make sure we do this well. So this next Sunday, we're going to have a regular Sunday service as we've been doing for the past couple months, streaming online inside. But then the following Sunday, June 7th, we're actually going to do a kind of a dry run, if you will, but it'll be a regular service that we stream, but we would ask all those volunteers to come here so we can just prepare. We can make June 7th look like what that tentative June 14th date could look like in opening up, just so we can be totally prepared, because we just really want to do this well. We don't want to open it up rushed and ill-prepared and say, wow, we didn't do that well and we put our people at risk or anything like that. We just want to honor our government's wishes with this and also honor God and how we seek to do reopen service and seek to have that community where we are together in person, kind of start back up again. So it's kind of what the big picture looks like. We would ask that you guys would be praying for just the preparation of all that. Pray for wisdom for our leadership and our staff as we're figuring out what that looks like for our church, how to best implement all these things, how to work it all out, as there's just so much dynamics with this. But just be reassured, whether you decide to join us in person or not on that June 14th date, if we open then, that we're going to have streaming service. That's going to be a part of our church going forward to infinity and beyond. It was something we were doing before this whole thing started, and something we're going to continue to do afterwards. So whether you decide to join us in person or not, we love that you would join us live. We would ask you guys to do that, and it's a great part of our community. And we just would love for our church to get to a point of, hey, we feel comfortable meeting back together in person. We want to make sure we're putting those guidelines in place so you guys will feel safe to do so. So just keep track on our social media, on our the email that we send out, on our website. We're going to keep you updated on what this looks like. That June 14th date is tentative. We are really hoping that that is the date, but we just want to make sure everything is in place, everything is going well, we're following all guidelines, and we'll go from there. We love you guys, and we'll see you on Sunday.